All right, everyone. Well, I have 11 o'clock here East Coast time, and we're going to wait a couple of minutes, or a minute or two, just for some of the people to join the webinar. My name is Steve Passanelli. I am with BombBomb. I am excited to do this webinar here today specifically for Keller Williams agents. See, we do a lot of training and education here at BombBomb, and a lot of the times we're in an audience where only half of the room has Gmail, and we're going over great Gmail tools and only half the people can use it. And so when we decided to do a Gmail and Chrome extension webinar, the first people we thought of were Keller Williams agents, because you guys are all using Gmail, which is the most powerful email platform on the planet. So I'm excited to do this webinar here. As I mentioned, we're just going to wait another 30 seconds here. Oh, you have someone saying I'm on mute, it seems. It doesn't say I'm on mute. Can everyone else hear me okay? And thanks for chiming in there, Jay, which I'm going to talk about that in a second. Can everyone else hear me okay who's on the webinar? We have a lot of people on, 62 already. Just type it into the chat room if you can hear me. Hopefully I'm still not on mute. There's someone talking over me in another language. So that's interesting. Let me try this real quick. Hold on. Okay, good. It seems like everyone else can hear us well and coming through just fine. So I apologize for the other person who's hearing someone in another language. What's really cool about, we're using a brand new webinar format. So I'm a little bit excited and a little bit nervous here today to go through the content that we have because this is a brand new webinar format. But what's really, really cool is this is going to be much more interactive. You guys are going to be able to ask questions and type in your questions and comments. And everyone else is going to be able to see it. So rather than a webinar where you type in a question or you have a comment and no one else gets to see it, this should be an entirely different format. I have my buddy Dale on the line here. He's going to be typing in the answers to your questions as we go throughout the webinar here today. Some of it's going to be live like this. Most of it will be on a PowerPoint presentation and actually live within the applications. One final housekeeping item I do want to point out before we jump in and get started, because we only have a half hour here today, is this is a Google Hangout format. And the only tricky part is you guys are seeing everything that I'm doing 28 seconds after I do it. So after I ask a question, you won't hear it till 28 seconds later, and then that's when you can type in the question. So there is a little bit of a delay, and I just want to point that out. If I don't answer your question immediately, just know that there's a slight delay between what you're seeing. And we should be good as long as we understand that. Oh, good. And everyone says the sound is fine. So let's get started here. I'm actually going to bring up my PowerPoint presentation. We're going to start a screen share. And you guys should be able to see my screen there. And we're going to get started with the Gmail Chrome extensions for Keller Williams Agents webinar. I tried to make this presentation as simple to understand. Even the slides are going to be simple and clear, hopefully, because we're going to try to address problems today, and the solutions are going to be the Gmail and Chrome extensions, and it's really specifically for Keller Williams agents. Now, as I mentioned, it's not just about Gmail. I know all Keller Williams agents has Gmail, or they're using Gmail as their email platform. But some of these extensions that we're going to talk about also require Chrome. So if you're not using Chrome and you're using something else, I recommend using Chrome. Why? Because Gmail and Chrome go hand in hand together. If you're using Internet Explorer, it's really great at downloading Chrome. So go download Chrome with Internet Explorer. Some of the things we're going to talk about here today, you won't be able to do just with Gmail by itself. Now, this is going to be a fun class. We're going to go over 10 extensions in 30 minutes or 25 minutes here. So we will be talking about a lot of cool things. We'll get into a lot of topics very quickly, but I do want to caution you of one thing here today. We're going to go over these 10 tools, but not all 10 tools are going to be right for you. So what I want you to do is pick out 3 tools out of the 10. I want you to really pay attention to what tool or what problem each tool solves. And I'm going to help you do that by the format that we're using here today. So you know we're going over 10 tools. But when you see this little graphic on the screen, that's the problem that the tool is going to address. So we're going to go through one by one, problem, solution, problem, solution. So I don't want you to download 10 Gmail extensions because it's just going to end up wasting your time and you're going to be using things or trying to use things that aren't going to affect your business. I want you to pick out 3 problems as we address them. And I want you to do those 3 things, maybe 4. You can even do 1 or 2. But it's always nice to be educated on what else is out there. So that's the format here for today. We're going to start with a problem right off the bat. I can't see your questions as they come in as I'm in this presentation mode here, but I'll pause and jump out and take a look at some of the questions there. And even my buddy Dale can send me a text message if there's something that I should address to the entire audience here because he's monitoring the questions on the back end. So let's get started. Enough of the intro. We're already 6 minutes in. Problem number 1 is we waste time on the internet. You have the best intentions. You hop on your computer in the morning. You're ready to plow through all of your to-dos and your tasks for the day. And then you go on to Facebook, you get a notification, and then now you're on Facebook and a half hour just went by and you just wasted a large portion of your morning when you could have been productive. Here is an amazing free Chrome extension. This one's a Chrome extension called Limitless. And by the way, all of these extensions that we're going over, I'm going to send you a recording of the webinar. You're going to have the content. You'll have the extensions. So what I don't want you to do is right now go and try to find Limitless and download that and miss some of the content. Because this is going to be so fast, you're going to miss some of the important screens and the why you should be using each one. So Limitless is great. It's got thousands of reviews online. I think it has 4.5 stars out of 5. But what it does is it knows the websites that you're visiting. And every single time you open up a new tab on your computer, it gives you a little synopsis of how you've been spending your day. If you've been spending your day on shopping websites or social websites or fun websites, how much of your day was spent on websites that produce something, that are productivity websites. And what's really cool about this is you can even customize it. So for example, I went on BombBomb, which is a productivity website, for me, because I work at BombBomb, and it didn't know how to categorize that. So I just simply typed in work site and said that, yes, this site is productive. And now it's tracking BombBomb as a productive site. And it gives you percentages and ratios every single time you open up a new tab in your browser. And it will tell you how long you were distracted today. And since I've been using this, it's so cool. And since I've been using this, I found that I spend less time messing around on the internet and more time getting down to the things that I need to do. So it's called Limitless. Again, we'll send you all the information after the webinar here, so just pay attention to the slides. This one is super cool. It even allows you to schedule a goal for the day and a goal for the year, and it gives you cool background pictures and even gives you words of encouragement every time you open a new tab. But tracking how much time you're wasting can be crucial. So that's extension number 1. Extension number 2. Well, here's the problem first. Lack of integration of tools. And there's just too many places to go and log into, right? Everyone has a billion different tools. In fact, I'm giving you 10 more tools here today. That's why I told you not to download all 10 of these. Choose 2 or 3 that you think will really help your business. So because a lot of tools don't work together, a lot of companies are out there trying to fix that. And here's one company called Augment. And Augment is a tool that connects other systems. So what's super cool about this is in your Gmail, here's a Gmail extension, and in your Gmail account, you can connect your Evernote and your Dropbox and your Google Drive and your calendar, and it makes it easier to perform tasks. So let's actually bounce out of the PowerPoint slide here just for a quick moment. And I'm going to bring up my Gmail account live. This is always scary to do live, right? So I bounced out for a quick moment. I'm going to bring up my Gmail account here. And what's cool about this Augment is I can highlight an email. So if I click on an email here, Augment up on the top of the screen says it's getting recommendations in 2 seconds. It will find the programs that I might want to use connected with this email. So for example, if this was an important email, which there's no text, it's just saying there's a meeting in Darren's office, but let's say this was an important email that I wanted to track, I could click the Evernote button, and rather than remembering all of the Evernote commands, I select my notebook, I hit the drop down there. You can see I use Gmail, or I use Evernote extensively. I choose my notebook, I type in the note title, I attach the email, I can type in any notes, I can even be more advanced or go more advanced and add a reminder and tag it. And so I never remember all the commands for Evernote. This makes it easy to drop emails into my Evernote account. If you're not using Evernote, but you're using Google Calendar, no problem, you can connect that too. There's a lot of different programs you can connect. So I can go here and I can schedule a calendar appointment from an email, start time, end time, and invite guests. So it's a little bit more robust than what's built into Gmail, and it's easier to use. So Augment allows you to work with a lot of different programs that are out there, and it connects it into the Gmail world to make it easy. All right. And yes, and Perfull, absolutely, you can blog about this on Active Rain there. Some of you are saying the slides are pretty blurry. Hopefully they fix that. They're supposed to be fairly clean looking. Checking out some of the comments here. By the way, when we go through these, we just went through 2 Gmail extensions. When we go through these Gmail extensions, type it into the questions. Let me know if you heard of that before, if you used it before, or if it's really exciting for you. If you think it can help you in your business, let us know what you think of. Let us know what you think of the content. All right, let's go back to our slides here. I'm gonna bring up the PowerPoint here. And so we talked about Augment. Extension number 3, or problem number 3, I should say. Your leads want to remain as anonymous as possible. And people that you're communicating with online, if you received a brand new lead from your website, or maybe it's from Zillow or Realtor.com or anywhere else, they only fill in their email address. Well, let me share with you a tool that's going to help you uncover and unmask, take off the digital cloak of that lead, and it's called Vibe. This one's super cool. There's been a lot of tools out there, a lot of Gmail extensions that provide profiles for people online. I used systems before like Reportive. I used systems before like Connect 6. But Vibe is something that I naturally gravitated towards because it just works. It doesn't mess with my other Gmail extensions, and it provides an amazing profile. So what am I talking about here? Well, let's bounce out one more time. So I'm going to bounce out one more time here, or not one more time. We're going to bounce out several times, I think. I'm going to go back into my email. And if I go back into my email inbox and I highlight a name on the screen, by installing the Vibe extension, I click on their name, and instantly on the side of my screen, I now have a profile of who that person is. So it tries to find their photo. It does a reverse lookup of all the information it can find about that person on the web, finds their details, finds their info, and positions it on the right-hand side of the screen. So if I respond to that person, I have a little bit of insight into who they are. What else is really neat about it is I can click on the links to their social media accounts. So just by highlighting that name, clicking on it, I have this nice, beautiful profile of who Darren Dawson is. And now I can communicate with him more effectively. The last Gmail tool that we're going to talk about here today, tool number 10, it's really creepy, by the way, but it's going to take this to the next level. It might be the most shiny object that we talk about in the webinar here today, but we're going to take that to the next level with tool number 10. Who would Vibe be good for? Let's go back to my slides here for a moment. Vibe is a great program for anyone that receives a lot of internet leads, anyone that communicates with their clients a lot over email, and you want to see what's going on in their personal life before you respond to that email message. So that's what Vibe helps you to do. Okay, number 4, problem. It's hard to drive traffic to your website. Common problem I always hear from agents. How do I get people on my website? It's so hard to drive traffic. So here's the solution. Here's the Gmail solution for this one. And this one is super cool. However, for those of you on this webinar here today who are not sharing articles and content and local information about real estate and your business, don't download Sniply. This app is really, really cool. This is a free-ish one, so it's free to use to a certain extent, and then you got to pay for it if you really want to begin using it. But this is for people that share a lot of content. If you don't share content, just listen and know that this type of stuff is out there, but please don't burden yourself and waste time by downloading something that's not going to help you. So what does Sniply allow you to do? Well, Sniply, what it does here, and let me back out for a moment again, and I'll show you a live example of this. If I go to a website and I find an interesting article somewhere, so I'm just going to go to MSN. Oh God, that's a terrible, terrible article on the first page there. Let's see if we can find something a little bit brighter. It doesn't matter. Let's pretend that this is a real estate article that I'm clicking on. This is an article about the Gap right now. And it's a video, so let's just pause that. So let's pretend this is a real estate article, something local in our area. What Sniply allows you to do is, this is a Chrome extension, and when I install Sniply, it allows me to click on this little button in the upper right-hand side of my screen, the Sniply button. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you. And what's so cool about this is, if I were to share this on Facebook, I were to share this article that I thought was interesting about the Downingtown real estate market, if I were to share this on Twitter, it provides a call to action for people to go back to my website. So I'm sending people to MSN about an interesting real estate article. But on the bottom of the page, if you guys can see this, this is super cool, because on the bottom of the page, I can type in a personalized message and then provide a link and drive people back to my website, even though they're on MSN reading this article. So it's a call to action to drive traffic. How many of you on this call knew about Sniply? How many of you actually share a lot of articles? And do you think that this would be beneficial for your business? Because this is something that BombBomb actually uses. We use it ourselves. And we drive a lot of traffic back to our website by sharing relevant information, but by having that call to action stuck there on the bottom of the screen. So all you would do is you would just copy. So once you get your, you decide you want a button there, there's your message. You want it to go to bombbomb.com. You would just hit the create key, and it's going to give you a URL, and that's what you share on Facebook and Twitter. And no matter who opens up that link, your call to action is going to be sitting right there. Pretty darn cool, right? That is definitely one of the ones that that I like the most. All right, here's a simple one. This is probably something that everyone on this call, everyone on this webinar here today can use. It's called Ugly Email. And the problem is, you're being tracked. Everything you do online, you are being tracked. So we can fix this in our email program. We're not going to fix it, but we can be more aware. What Ugly Email does, and again, don't go to all these websites right now. Maybe just jot it down on a piece of paper. We're going to send you all the details after. So just pay attention here. Come back to the screen and look at the little icon that it puts on your emails. So if someone sends you an email and they are tracking it from Yesware or MailChimp or any one of the programs out there, most of the programs out there, it's actually going to notify you that this email is being tracked. I know a lot of you on this call are using programs to track your email, so you know when someone opens your email and what they do with it. Now you actually have the ability to know whether or not you should open that, because if you see an email sitting in your inbox and you know you can't get to that email right now, you don't have the time, and you see the little I in your email right here, what that means is if you open that, they're going to know it. So if you don't get back to them soon, they might be perturbed. So this is your secret weapon, because it lets you know if someone's tracking your emails. It tracks emails from Streak and Yesware and MailChimp and Postmark and TinyLetter and Sidekick. But here's the cool part. If you're a BombBomb customer, if you're a customer of ours, guess what? Ugly Email doesn't track our emails. So there's a bonus right there by being a BombBomb customer. So if your clients are using an app like that, an extension like that, then they're not going to know that your emails are being tracked. So there's a nice little bonus. All right. I forget what number we're on now. I think we might be on 5 or 6 here. And we need to pick up the pace because we only have 10 minutes left. So problem, we all make mistakes. So here's a solution for you. Oh yeah, and thank you, Dale, for sending this out. This recording is definitely going to be sent out. The whole recording is going to be sent out. You can share it with your friends. You can share it with your buddies. We will make sure you have that right after the webinar, 1 hour after the webinar is done. So here's the problem. We all make mistakes. Here's the solution. Google Labs has a feature that allows you to unsend a sent email. Now, this only works in about 5 to 7 seconds, but it's still beneficial. You send someone an email. How many times has this happened to you? You send out an email and you're like, shoot, I forgot to do this, or shoot, it was the wrong person. Well, unsend, this one's called unsend. It's in Google Labs, and I'll show you how to install Google Labs here. Let me, I'm going to paste a quick, go to my Google Hangouts here. I'm going to paste a link to Google Labs, instructions on how to download Google Labs on your computer. So you should be able to see that link that I just pasted into the chat room. Oh, and thanks, Howard. You keep me on track. We were on number 6 there. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for participating and writing all these comments. I can't see them on the go, but I see them now. So thank you so much for, and yes, for full, uninstall Reportive. Reportive is terrible. Ever since LinkedIn bought it, Reportive went straight downhill. So, all right. So I just pasted that link in there for Google Labs. You should be able to see that. So this is a neat little extension that allows you to unsend a sent email as long as you catch it within the first like 5 to 7 seconds. So no, you can't unsend it an hour later, but you can do it pretty quickly. All right. Moving along. You hate wasting time and typing. That's the problem. How many of you out there hate typing? Well, here's the solution. And this is a great solution that really works well with our product too. It's called Canned Responses. Canned Responses. This is also a Google Lab download. And I pasted that link into the chat room. You guys should be able to see that link there. Maybe Dale can push that out to everybody. Dale, I think there's an option to push that link out to everyone, or push it to the screen so they can see that link. So this is in Google Labs again, and that link should explain everything on how to get Google Labs. But what this allows you to do is have pre-written responses built into your Gmail account for free. You don't have to pay for this. So if I received a website lead, I can do my website lead response, and it types up that email for me. So it works really, really well, and it helps you save time, especially if you send the same messages out frequently. Okay. Moving along here, I think we're on 8, so we got 3 more to go. 3 more to go. Here's the problem. You went to school a very, very, very long time ago. I just had my 20-year high school reunion, and I know that's not that old, but yeah, 20 years. Like I feel like I'm young, but I'm definitely starting to get up there. So even when I went to school, I was a terrible writer. I had to take remedial writing classes, even when I went to school. So 20 years later, after I haven't been practicing or having a teacher tell me what I'm doing right or wrong, my writing is atrocious. I'm even worse. So there's the problem. Writing can be difficult. And this is all going back to email is hard. Communicating over email is just plain hard, right? But here's your solution, Grammarly. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one of my favorite extensions of the day. What Grammarly does is it not only checks your spelling, but it checks your grammar. This is a Chrome extension, and it works across Facebook. It works across Twitter. It works on Gmail. It works in BombBomb. If you're a BombBomb customer, it's phenomenal. And as you can see here on the screen, they have a free version and then a paid version. The paid version checks for more things, but even the free version is great. You're going to want to go download this one for sure. It's really sweet, and this helps me immensely because I'll forget to add the comma or the apostrophe, and just with a couple clicks of the button, it fixes my atrocious writing. Grammarly, awesome. So going back to email is hard, right? Getting back to that concept of email is hard, and communicating over email is hard, and we have to worry about our grammar and how we sound, and it's so emotionless, right? When you communicate with someone over email, you become the text on the screen. You become your email signature. Everyone's text looks the same. How can we humanize? How can we, number one, how can we make it easier to communicate clearly over email? How can we build rapport over email? How do you build trust and save time? Or how do you build trust and also how do you save time over email? How do you build or enhance a relationship? It's all very difficult to do because email isn't really a trustworthy form of communication. You get a lot of spam and junk emails. People don't read it. Email is just difficult in general. But here's a solution for you. And this is a brand new solution that we just released. I'm excited to share with you. Called our BombBomb Gmail extension. So next time someone sends you an email and it's emotionally charged, or it's going to require a lengthy response, or you don't want to type it out and fix your grammar. If you ever typed in a paragraph and deleted the whole thing because it didn't sound right, here is your solution. We made this easy to connect with leads more effectively, and we made it easier to follow up with your current clients and past clients and do it in the place where you email, Gmail, right? So look at this. There's a send video button. When you install the BombBomb Gmail extension, there's a send video button that will be in the upper left-hand side of your screen. When you click send video, it turns on your video camera, and rather than laboriously typing out 3 paragraphs of information, you can say, hey, Mark, that's a great question. I wanted to take time out of my day to send you a personalized response. Now, it's faster to do it this way, faster to click record and just speak your message, but people think that you spent an immense amount of time on them. So you click that, you record your video message, and it drops it into the body of your email, all in Gmail. Plus, here's the best part. I mentioned that we have tracking before. We have tracking. So look at this. We're sending out emails in Gmail. We're communicating more clearly. We're building rapport. People see our face because, you know, it's harder to say no to someone's face than it is to say no to text on the screen. When they see you, when they hear you, they can determine that they like you faster rather than just reading text. And this is a massive business asset. You are your best business asset. This allows you to scale yourself. But getting back to the tracking, you'll know when they opened it. You'll know how many times that they opened it. You'll know when they played your video, and you can act upon that as well. Here's what it looks like in Gmail. There's the tracking on the right-hand side of the screen. And what's so cool about this is now you get these push notifications, and that ugly email program doesn't track BombBomb. So it's all on the download. They don't know that you are tracking these emails, and you can turn on or off these notifications as well. Now, BombBomb is not free, of course. The extension is not free. Let me bump out of the slideshow here just for a brief moment. I'm going to go back to our extensions. So BombBomb is not free, but we do have for everyone on the call a 14-day free trial with a setup, with someone that will actually call you, set it up for you, explain to you how it works in the free trial, so you can start sending out video emails. So I want you guys to check it out. I'm going to put a pop-up here on the side of your screen. It should appear here fairly soon, and you should be able to see it now. And this is the only time I want you to leave this page, because if you sign up in the next 12 minutes when the webinar is over for the free trial, and by the way, this is a credit cardless free trial. You don't even have to type in a credit card. You just put in your basic information, your email, your name, basic details, and we are going to set up a one-on-one call with you, walk you through it, set it up in your Gmail account, and make sure that you can send video emails and connect with your clients more effectively, faster than ever. So one last tool here that I want to talk about. Oh, and by the way, if you're on a mobile device, I just put up an offer on the screen. If you're on like an iPhone, you won't be able to see the offers on an iPhone unless you pause the video. So I do want to point that out. If you're on anything else, you should be able to see the offer on the side of the screen. You can click on it, and you can get your free account, sign up, send out video emails, as many as you would like, and see how powerful it really is. So let's talk about, we have 2 minutes left. Let's talk about our last extension of the day. This one's a little bit shiny object, and this one is super creepy, super creepy. It's called Crystal Nose, even has a creepy name. Remember the profile program I talked about before called Vibe? This takes Vibe to the next level. This builds a profile for each person, but from that information, it tells you how you should be communicating with each person. And you can see 2 different variations of communication here on the screen, asking them out for coffee, depending on who that person is. So what Crystal Nose does is it creates that profile. It finds out who that person is based off of all the information they have on the internet, right? Super creepy. And then it says, okay, we are 95% confident or 80% confident that you should speak to Matt this way. When emailing Matt, you want to do this. When selling to Matt, you want to do this. it comes naturally for Matt to do this. And it gives you descriptions and phrases that you can use in your communication to, in theory, connect with Matt or whoever you're emailing more effectively. Now, again, this one could be shiny object. I've been messing around with it. Do I really think it helped my communication? I'm not sure, but I do think that this is the future. I do think this will be built out, and I do think there is enough information about people on there on the web to start building profiles like this. But this is brand new. I had to put in a little shiny object one at the end. I probably don't recommend for most of you to download this, but I just wanted to share with you what was out there and what is out there for you. All right. So we covered 10 Gmail extensions or Chrome extensions. There's the list of all of the ones that we covered here today in this webinar. Number one, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'm getting a message here. All right, cool. So number one, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'm going to stick around for a little bit, and I'm going to answer some of those questions live that you guys have been typing through. Maybe, Dale, you can text me some of the questions right there, and I'll answer some of these questions live. But I have a challenge for everyone on the webinar here today. Actually, I have two things I'm going to ask of you. Number one, you're going to get the recording of this webinar, and I want you to share it. I want you to send it out to other people in your office who you think might benefit from the content. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope we found some solutions to some of your problems using a program that you already use, which is Gmail. But number two, the free trial for BombBomb is fantastic, and the ability to talk to someone and have them walk you through, how to set it up and make sure that it's working and it's going to work for you is great. So I want you to take advantage of that. But I'm also going to propose a challenge. I want you to download the BombBomb extension for your Gmail, and I want you to send out 5 emails today. I want you to say thank you to someone over a video email rather than typing it out. I want you to follow up with a question over video email, and I want you to experience the results for yourself, because something amazing will happen if you send out those 5 video emails today. You take my challenge and you do it, and you send out those 5 emails. Something amazing will happen, and it will happen for you. And if you do that and you accept my challenge, then connect with me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. And let me know that you did that, or just send me an email, steve@bombbomb.com, and let me know that you sent out the 5 video emails and what happened, because I'll be excited to hear about that. We have some questions coming through here, so let me get to some of the questions, and I'll take that off the screen here. So we'll go back into the chat room. If you already have BombBomb, is there any additional cost to the Gmail extension? And the answer to that is absolutely not. There is no additional cost. That is included in your account with your BombBomb account. It was just added in there just last week, and the tracking and everything is right there for you. So pretty awesome. I see another question coming through here, and guys, feel free just to type it in as well. And I'm flipping through. Oh, love Grammarly. Yeah, isn't Grammarly awesome? I see some of you guys digging some of the content. Here, for those of you that are still on here, one last question for you. Which extension, now we all know that BombBomb is super exciting, but pick out your top 3 extensions that we went over today, just so I know what resonated with you. Yeah, hi Leah. Hi, Leah's watching the webinar with us today, and thank you for joining the webinar, Leah. Hopefully you learned something as well, so that's great. And let's go through. Oh, Praful, you're sending one now. You are the man, Praful. I see Praful when I travel all over the country and I do my speaking sessions. Praful is always there. He's always willing to learn, and he's an awesome agent up in Massachusetts. He rocks. So thanks, Praful. Absolutely, Pat. You can call someone for help downloading the extension. You can definitely do that. Ugly email. Yeah, that's a killer one, right? Ugly email was definitely a nice one. So got a couple favorites coming in there. You're welcome, Paul. Thanks for joining us here today. And Dale, we still have 75 people on here. If you want to push them, remind the audience that we put. Oh yeah, actually, and this is a great point. Thank you, Dale, for pointing this out. We just made an update to our Chrome extension today, to our Gmail extension. So we have, it's going to work much better for everyone. It's going to be much cleaner, much more reliable. So that's actually going out today. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that. All right. Yes, where Canned response. Yeah, Barbara, that's a great one. Yeah, it's similar to Zapier, Yoni. It is similar to Zap. And of course, BombBomb. Thanks, Christy. We appreciate that. But Yoni, Augment is similar. It doesn't have that many connections, and it's only specific to Gmail. But the concept is very similar. It's very similar. So, all right. Well, let me jump back on camera here. Sorry, my camera's moving. I'm going to bring it back on me here. We still have 74 people on. You guys are awesome. Just type in any other questions that you have, and we'll close this out. So I just wanted to thank you guys. Well, that says welcome. We use that one in the beginning. I want to thank you guys for joining the webinar. It seems like you liked it. You found it valuable and interesting. We're going to hold a lot more webinars like this in this format, so you guys can see the question, and it's more questions, and it's more interactive. I think this format is pretty darn awesome. So I want to thank you for joining me on this Friday. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next webinar.